are listening to the Moms in Business podcast, where we get real about all the things on balancing motherhood and still having a thriving business. It is my goal that you hear from real moms, you hear real stories on mindset, time management strategies, and even the moments of crying in the shower, because we have all been there. I'm your host, Misty Shaheen, life and business coach for moms who want the freedom to live life on their own terms without sacrificing their health or family time. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching this video. I am so excited. We are going to be talking about if you are low energy or you have no motivation right now. We're going to be talking about some things that you can include into your daily routine, how to maximize your energy and productivity even in this time. We're going to be talking about the energy right now, because you are feeling low energy or you're feeling unmotivated. You are not alone. I've been seeing the same theme coming up over and over the past couple weeks, as well as I've really been feeling it over the past, I would say 3 to 4 weeks, on and off. So let me know if you have been feeling unmotivated or next to no energy. So if you're new to me or if you haven't seen me in a while, let me introduce myself. My name is Misty Shaheen, and I am a transformation coach. And how I got my start, I have been working online since like 2012, 2013. I have a special needs child. And when he was about 3 years old, we started to understand more of his diagnosis. And I went to my corporate job and I asked for my hours to be reduced. And I was let go from the company. And we took that as a blessing in disguise. It was super hard in that moment, but that is when I decided that I was going to actually go for my goals. And I started working from home. And at the time, I was an in-home daycare provider. So I was watching toddlers and preschoolers around my own kids. And we soon added another, and now we have 3 kids, which I'm a homeschool mom now. So when I was in that position, I was running that in-home daycare. 100% of my clients came through online connections, or they found me online through my marketing. And even though I had a brick and mortar business, I rarely ever advertised online. However, over the next couple years is where I got to where I am now, because I was super exhausted. I had no energy. I wanted to take a nap before the kids did. And I knew something had to change. So if you are just tuning in, you're just figuring out who I am. I'm a transformation coach. And after I started to take my own health into my own hands, and I went on to increase my energy, I dropped 36 pounds, and everyone was wanting to know my secrets. So I'm letting you know this because I want you to know I am qualified to talk about this, because I have dealt with this in my own experience. We're talking about energy. If you are feeling low energy, we're going to be talking about some of the things that you can do right now if you don't have energy or little to no motivation, and how you can get through these next couple months. We're also going to talk about some of the energy that's going around, because I have been working with astrology for about 3 to 4 years now, and I am so excited to talk to you about what's really going on and why we're all feeling this way. So we have Mars retrograde happened from September 9th to November 13th. So Mars retrograde, Mars is the planet of action and drive. And when it's retrograde, it's basically, it looks like it's going backwards in the sky. This is why we're all feeling unmotivated right now, low energy. Mars is responsible for our physical energy. It has to do with our drive, our work, because it's all about drive. Mars is a go-getter planet. He loves to go after the goals, and also has to do with sexual drive, because Mars is the divine masculine in the solar system. We also are coming up on Mercury retrograde, and I just want to mention this, the time of this recording, because we're going to have Mercury retrograde from October 14th until November 3rd. And so Mercury is the planet of communication. So you might have different things go wrong. We're already experiencing pre-shadow. So this could be technology. This could be actually in your relationships. We are in Libra season, which is all about relationships. So just be careful. Make sure that your emails are super clear, making sure that you have backups. If you are online, making sure that you are well charging your technology, your computer, your laptop, your phone, and then also having a backup for if you are doing any kind of launches or any kind of online marketing, making sure you have a backup. And what I've learned with this Mars retrograde is I was 2 weeks late launching my podcast. I wanted to launch it the beginning of September, and it got pushed back 2 weeks because I just had no energy to get the things done I needed to get done. And so I have learned with this Mars retrograde just to give yourself a little bit extra time, because things are not moving as fast as what we're used to. So it's a great chance to slow down. Anytime a planet is in retrograde, it's just a great time to reflect, review, redo some of the things that are not working. Reflect on what is working, what's not working, and what needs to change. I just want to touch base on that. And before we get into the content, I also want to mention, if you want to go deeper with this, I have a special offer that I'm going to mention at the end, so make sure you stay tuned. So let's talk about some of the things you can do if you are low energy, if you are feeling unmotivated. What are some of the things that you can do to kind of get things going? So paying attention to your physical energy. We don't have a lot, but we can preserve what we do have. So paying attention to sleep, paying attention to what you're putting in your body, getting movement in, sitting for too long, staying indoors. This could all lead to depression. It could lead to just feeling unmotivated. So if you could get yourself outside, and when I say movement, I don't mean exercise. I don't mean lifting weights. I just mean moving your body more. Whether that's going for a walk, you're doing yoga, you're playing outside with the kids, whatever this could be. Obviously making sure you're drinking plenty of water. I will tell you, when I go outside and I actually close down my computer, I'm not thinking about work. When I'm feeling unmotivated and low energy, I know that that's the time I need to focus on my self-care, because if my cup is not full, I cannot do the best job that I can do. So I know it's time to shut it down, even if it's for a couple hours, and get myself in, go for a walk or a run, or just clear my head. And I get my best ideas whenever I am not focused on work. So if you are feeling like you are in a creative funk, or you're feeling stuck in your life anywhere, I would say shut it down. Don't think about work. Don't think about all the things you need to get done, but just unplug a little bit. Take yourself away. Take yourself on a date, maybe. And this is when I get my best ideas. Also, I want to talk a little bit about your passions because this is September, we're all getting back into our routine. We're getting back into the flow. Fall is always a time that you're getting kind of back into things, into regular routines after summer. However, if we focus too much on the to-dos and we're not actually doing things that fuel us on the inside, like tapping into our heart space, things we actually love to do, this also could be why you have no energy, and it also can lead to adrenal fatigue. So when I talked about my story about how I started and when I had no energy, I was not able to lose weight. I was ready for a nap by 11 o'clock in the afternoon. I was in a stage of adrenal fatigue. It was in the early stages, and it's not a fun place to be. So I always recommend, and I believe one of the reasons why we do struggle with adrenal fatigue is we are so focused on our to-do list and we are not doing things from our heart. We are not having fun. We are not having fun in our work, and we are in a chronic state of stress. Being able to unplug, incorporating a little bit of fun in your day, and focusing on your passions, the things you love to do, can help zap you out of that. Have a little dance party. Get yourself out of the house. If you love to shop or you like to be around people, call up a girlfriend, call up a friend that, you can just talk to and connect with. All of those are great ideas for helping you get your energy up. So I want to talk a little bit. I have a brand new mini course that's coming out. And in this mini course, I'm helping you create a sacred self-care plan based on your astrological birth chart. And so I want to talk a little about where do we get motivation? Because when I was working with people in weight loss, getting their energy back, this is the number one question I always got was, where do you get your energy? How do you have so much energy? And at the time, I knew how I could get more energy, but I didn't necessarily know how to help others other than the typical food, diet, stress, making sure you're drinking your water. But since I have been working with astrology, now I have some extra tools, and I want to show you some ways you can look in your astrological birth chart and where you can find your motivation. So first of all, most people are familiar with their sun sign. Your sun sign is great. It is like the essence of who you are. It's who you're aspiring to be. If you relate to your sun sign, if you don't, no worries. We will address some other things also. But your sun sign represents where you get your creative energy. So if you are working or you're running a business and I'm feeling unmotivated, you need to look at where your sun sign is and start to incorporate some things into your self-care plan to get that creative energy going. And that's going to be different for everybody based on where your sun sign is. Now, motivation. So we look to the moon sign. The moon sign represents our inner world. It represents our emotions. And I am currently getting certified as a life path astrology reader. And when it comes to the life path, we look to the moon for motivation. Because if you're just working for a sense of money or, success, all that is great. But if you are not addressing your internal world, your emotional world, you will feel unmotivated to do that thing you need to do. If you're ever feeling stuck, if you're ever feeling in a funk, I always like to work with the moon sign to get myself out of that unstickiness. So your moon sign represents your motivation. So for example, I have my moon sign in Sagittarius. And there was a time in my life when I was in a severe depression. I was binge eating. I was binge drinking. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was working in that in-home daycare. However, I felt stuck. I wasn't making the money I wanted to, and I really felt stuck. Guess what? Sagittarius is the visionary of the zodiac. They also are the explorer of the zodiac, and I had no goals that I was really working on. I wasn't learning anything, which Sagittarius loves to learn. They're the philosopher. So I should have been like reading a book or taking a course. I wasn't doing that. And I never got to leave the house because I always had kids here and I worked around the clock. So I fell into a state of depression. But once I got into business development and I really started to learn some new skills, I was taking courses, I was reading books, I found my motivation. And that was because Sagittarius loves to learn and almost has this insatiable hunger for knowledge. And so when I am feeling stuck in a funk, like I don't know how to get myself out, I will shut the work down and I will take a course or I will go read a book. I go for a walk and listen to a podcast. That helps me get out of my funk, but it's going to be different for you based on where your moon sign is. So I mentioned Mars. Mars is where we get our drive. Mars is the planet of action. So you can look to your Mars. I always feel good whenever I can get dressed up, put a little bit of makeup on. I got my jewelry on. That's because I have my Mars in Libra, and Libra is the queen of love and beauty. And Libras, they love to get dressed up. They love fashion. And so knowing that about myself, that helps me stay motivated. I know I get way more done when I get dressed up versus staying in my pajamas all day. So if I go a couple days where I am just like not getting dressed until later in the afternoon and I feel like I'm not getting enough done or I'm not hitting my goals, then I will make a point to get dressed, put some makeup on, and make sure I'm really feeling good about myself. That's just an example. You also want to look, last placement I'm going to talk about is your Venus sign. So Venus represents our values. Venus represents what we value, and it's going to be different for each of us. But based on what you value, if you are not incorporating that into your self-care plan, into your work, into your life, that can make you feel kind of resentful, like you're not feeling valued yourself. That's because you are not actually valuing yourself. You're feeling like other people are not valuing you, but that's because we are the ones who teach people how to treat us. So based on how you're treating yourself, you teach other people how to treat you. It's like a mirror. So if you're not getting the things that you want, feeling appreciated, you're not getting that from other people, it's time for you to look within and how can you treat yourself a little better. Okay, so we talked about where you can find your motivation with this Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and where in your chart you can specifically look. And I want to give you some ideas based on what kind of elements you have in your chart. So if you are an earth sign, so earth signs are Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. If you are an earth signs are very grounded. They're ruled by the earth. So actually earthing could be helpful for you. Earthing, meaning you're going outside in your bare feet, you're spending time in nature because our earth signs are very connected to nature. Also, having yourself a routine. Our earth signs are very practical. They like to have a plan together. So getting yourself into a solid routine, whatever that may be for you, I want you to pay attention where you're feeling stuck, where you're feeling conflicted, where you're feeling chaotic even, and how can you get yourself on a routine. if you are an earth sign. And having a plan for your day or your month, getting out your calendar and knowing what you have going on. If you are a fire sign, part of your self-care plan should include your passions. So our fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And fire signs are very passionate. They have a lot of energy, so moving your body is essential. Also, go somewhere. Because fire signs have so much energy, they love to be out in the world. And so if you can just go somewhere, whether that go for a walk, go for a cup of coffee, or, actually take a weekend trip somewhere, that's going to be really good for fire signs. So air signs are Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Air sign, just like what you think, most of the time a lot up in their heads. So they love to learn. They're very intellectual. So learning something new would be a great self-care activity for our air signs. Getting social. Our air signs are very social. They love to be around people, and also giving yourself space. So our air signs like to move around, and this could be the same for fire signs as well. They love to move around. They don't like to be restricted by our physical environment. So however you can clear out space and allowing that flow to move through your environment. And finally, our water signs. So our water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And some self-care activities for water signs could be solitude, energy healing. Water signs are very intuitive. They're very emotional. So giving yourself space to process your emotions, to really hear yourself think, and to be in your own energy, because our water signs tend to take on the emotions and the feelings of others, and we tend to wear it for ourselves, even if that's not your own stuff at all. So giving yourself that space and allowing you to clear that energy. And that brings me to my final one, clearing energy with water. You can actually do like an energetic healing around water, whether that's taking a bath, going for a swim, taking a shower, and actually feeling and, visualizing that energy is like coming off of you. I hope this is so helpful. And if you are interested in my brand new mini course, I'm going to leave the link on this video. And in my brand new mini course, I'm going to teach you how to run your astrological birth chart. We're going to look at specific signs that can help you stay in your creative flow, stay motivated, and really learn how to fill your own cup first. Because I have struggled with adrenal fatigue, and I have also worked with so many people who also struggle with stress management, feeling like they're doing so much for other people and they never have the time or energy to take care of themselves. This is something I'm so passionate about. You cannot help others, serve others from your highest self if you are not taking care of your own self, mind, body, spirit. And so in the course, we're going to be looking at specific placements, and then there'll be like a plug and play based on your whatever signs are in those placements. There's going to be a curated list. If you're in Aries, there's going to be a whole list of activities just for Aries, a whole list for Taurus, a whole list for Gemini. So you're going to be able to say, okay, I have Sun in Gemini, I have Moon in Capricorn, and I have, my Venus in Libra. And so you're going to be able to, plug and play and curate a special sacred self-care plan for you. I have a special offer for the first 10 people that join in on this mini course. I am going to do a special reading with you to look at this Mars retrograde and the upcoming Mercury retrograde. And we're going to look at what specific areas in your life that are going to be more of a challenge through November. So I am so excited about this, and I hope you join me. So check the link below if that's something you're interested in. And until next time, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Did you love this episode? I would love to connect with you and hear all of your ahas. Do me a favor, take a screenshot right now. Tag me on IG your biggest takeaway. You can find the podcast at momsinbiz_podcast. And if you haven't joined the party yet, we are hanging out over on Facebook. We have a private group called Moms in Business, and this group is all about connection, community, and collaboration. So if you haven't joined us yet, please do come over and join in on the conversation.